This is The Extra Point, an Arizona's Family Originals podcast, sponsored by your Phoenix Suns.
Yeah, let's talk Suns. Let's talk Diamondbacks. Let's talk Mercury. It's kind of our mid-season report. My report card was never quite where I wanted it midway through the school year, but neither's the Diamondbacks. So Matt Hippie, our crack sports producer. No, I don't think I want to say that.
I'll take crack.
Okay. Julia Lopez, our intrepid reporter. And Joe Ferris, Sun Devil Joe behind the glass. Fair. Okay. Let's get after it here. Mark McClune here in the seat. And I'm just going to tee you guys up and let you go because I think I've said everything I can say about the Diamondbacks at this point. Like, I just think
it feels like it's just going in circles every week.
Yeah. Like, just get us to training camp because I think they're going to unload everybody here. And when the Red Sox come in here the first week of the NFL season, I'm very interested to see what the crowd looks like. If all of Boston comes out here, if it's like a really good way to get a cheap ticket to see the Boston Red Sox play. How many people are going to be in the ballpark for that 3-game series?
Well, it's probably going to be a lot of people because I feel like people from all over the place like to come here. But just getting back to the D-backs, I just feel like this is not a fun
September, first week of the NFL season.
This is not a fun team right now to watch. Just because of how inconsistent this team is. You never know what team you're going to get. And that bullpen is just absolutely brutal to watch anytime someone comes in. And then just the injuries that have happened to him. Like, obviously, you can't control that part of the game. Injuries happen to every single team. But just the amount of injuries is just, I can't even wrap my mind around it, how many there are.
Does the story start with injuries with this team, or is there something deeper as to why it has not happened this year with all these expectations?
I think everything just comes back to injuries. It may not have started there, but it all comes back to it.
Yeah. I think it started there with Jordan Montgomery going down before even the first game of the season. Like, he got hurt in spring training. Everybody was like, oh, what's going to happen with him? And then it just kind of was like a domino effect, even from spring training on, of how many injuries that entire pitching staff got. It was just brutal to watch. Right.
And you just wonder now, what they do. Okay, so they're 11 games back in the West. There's no way they were catching the Dodgers. 5.5 back in the wild card. Cardinals come in here this weekend. You have about 2 weeks to the trading deadline. Do we expect a fire sale here? I mean, I think if they're within 5, you could be like, okay, let's just see. Maybe they'll pull out of this. But, I don't have a lot of hope. Where's your hope meter? Joe, where's your hope meter for your Arizona Diamondbacks?
Well, they're not my Arizona Diamondbacks. I don't think there's hope this year. I think they're in a good spot to get some assets and go get those assets and regroup, bring back the core next year and try again.
You think they can try again? I mean, I think this opens up a championship window 2-3 years down the line. Corbin Carroll, Ketel Marte stick around, but if, Bob Nightingale, our friend who's been on this very podcast reporting Zach Gallen, Merrill Kelly, Josh Naylor, Eugenio Suarez are for sale, that could fetch a haul, especially with Suarez being asked in New York by New York in the All-Star game. The All-Star game's in Atlanta. Would he want to be a Yankee? If they start coveting him in Yankee land, maybe you can restock the cupboard here. But what are we gonna? I mean, I guess just get us to football season, right? It's what are you looking forward to about Diamondbacks baseball other than maybe the end of the season and we can turn the page?
Well, all those names that you just said are all going to be free agents in November. So at the end of the day, there's going to be decisions that are going to be made. I feel like they're going to move on from those guys. Maybe not all of them, but definitely a few of them. So now is the time. You want to get those younger pitchers in now and just really load up in that.
I just feel like you don't always hit on prospects. You hit out of one of 3. For Paul Goldschmidt, you got 2 guys that weren't on the team that made the run to the World Series. And now one's the Yankees closer. So you just never know. But you're not. It's just Zach Gallen and Merrill Kelly, I feel like, should be lifetime Diamondbacks. And I'll be grouchy about that and talking about that in this podcast.
Yeah, I wonder what the return on Gallen would even be this year.
Right. I think somebody's going to want a guy with postseason experience, a guy who's pitched in the World Series. Yeah. Nolan Ryan's numbers weren't always the greatest.
I just wonder if the rest of the league will value him as much as the D-backs do.
Right. Well,
I think they'd have to be like, hey, we want to re-sign you. Will you come here and then re-sign? Like that kind of wink.
Right.
Not just a rental for him.
Maybe he goes to New York, Philly or New York. That's where he's from. Or there's no way I've never seen a guy leave a place, get traded, and come back to that. It's been very, very rare. Is he going to have to pitch on a 1-year show me deal next year if he doesn't turn things around? I think somebody's going to give him a haul. But to your point, Matt, if the league isn't interested in him, maybe the word's out that something isn't as dominant as it was in the World Series year.
If they could re-sign him for a lot less than they would have expected to re-sign him for a year ago, even. I mean, just the name alone and what he did for them in that World Series run probably means a lot to the team and fans.
Well, yeah, and he's a Torey Lovello loves the guy too. He started him over Corbin Burns, who brought it, that's pretty awesome. Like, obviously the loyalty's there for Gallen. Everybody loves him. Fans love him. We love him, especially talking in the clubhouse. Like, he's such a good dude, and you wish him well, but you want him to find a spot. I don't know. It's just there's so many moving pieces here. Like, is he going to save this team? Probably not.
Okay, if you weren't from a place, but you went to a place and it was good to you, but you had a chance to make generational money as a starting pitcher, maybe not a starting pitcher, but you know what I mean, as a sports broadcaster, as a sports producer, how loyal would you be? I mean, is loyalty even part of it, or are you like, hey, this is a business and I have to do this. I owe this to myself.
You can't pass up generational money because these teams will flip on them the minute it starts to benefit them. So, I mean, I imagine a player's gotta go where the money is if it's that. Does Torey Lovello get a pass in this skid because of the injuries? Like, nobody questions.
I think so. I mean, if he's got his aces out, his 2 top relievers are out, he's mixing and matching, nothing's working. I think he's doing a pretty good job of leading this team and challenging. What more can he do?
You can't really accuse him of not trying things.
Right. But, next year, does he get a contract extension? No. And then he goes into the last year of his deal, kind of a lame duck. And if the championship window opens 3 years from now, that puts him at risk of, well, maybe they need another voice. That's not his fault either, but that's what happens. You change the voice out in the clubhouse.
Has there ever been a manager traded at the deadline?
I feel like Ozzie Guillen got traded to the Marlins from the White Sox for players.
Season?
No.
Oh, I was gonna say,
but then he sympathized with Fidel Castro in Miami, and then he was no longer the manager of the Marlins.
Interesting.
I don't think that was in the offseason. But that's the only manager trade that I know of. There has to be like a player, like 3
in season would be bizarre. Even the NFL never did anything like that.
That's funny. I bet you we see that at some point in our lifetime.
Crazier things happen.
Right. Well, okay. 12 games for the trading deadline, 4 series. So Gallen, Kelly going to probably get 3 more starts each. So everyone counts.
That's right.
All right. You got the Cardinals coming in here this weekend. Sun Summer League. Did we enjoy that over the weekend?
You were there.
I was. Yes.
That's a question for you.
I can talk about my enjoyment for a while. I want to know, did y'all watch? Like, is Summer League, something we view, something as a sports fan you'll sit down and consume?
Summer League's so hard to gauge because you watch it and you just got to take it all with a grain of salt, and you almost have to like isolate every player's performance and like look at them individually in a sense. And then it comes back to, you look at the competition they're against. It's not going to be the same as a regular NBA roster. So, there's little things you can take away. Kobe Bryant can't miss.
And he was getting defended like Devin Booker in game 2.
And he was hitting long shots too.
Yeah.
So, that's something Suns fans have to be hopeful for. His defense, I think, is a concern. He's a great shooter, but he's far from a complete player.
One of the things he said post game was, "My body hasn't even matured yet."
That's
so
true.
it would not shock me to see him with the Valley Suns a little bit. Maybe he gets pulled up. Maybe
Did he play a full 4 years in college or 3?
I think he did 5.
He did 5 years.
I think he did 4 at Dayton and then transferred to Kentucky.
The COVID years.
Yeah. Gabe McLaughlin did like 9. He's 26 years old and he's in his 2nd year in the NBA trying to make the Mavs.
And Bray is still developing.
Yeah. He doesn't, he like him and Malawach, the Suns' top pick. Brea has some facial hair. Malawach is 7'2". I don't know if he shaves yet.
So Kobe Bryant was already playing college basketball when Malawach started playing basketball.
That's good. Yes. He was 13. Now he's 18.
Yeah. 5 years.
He's got a ways to go. I think
he looked raw.
Yeah. But he also looked 7'2".
Yeah.
You can't teach that.
That's what I mean. Like you have to look at it individually. There were flashes and moments for him where you can he's got it in him to be the guy that the Suns selected. But they're going to have some patience.
Right. Well, and then they threw Ryan Dunn and Oso Godaro in the fire last year. And I thought Oso, his aggressiveness at the summer league shows, okay, I think they put those guys in the summer league to be like, prove to us that you're too good to be here.
Those two guys, they should be chewing up the competition. And it looks like, I mean, in the last game Oso did.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I think, Malawatch, want to see him play some more. He sat out on Sunday. I'd like to see Rasheer Fleming a little bit. That game is going on as we are taping this, so we can talk about him next week. But he's very interesting. He's very athletic. I think he can D people up. I do think in going to Vegas and watching basketball, I didn't gamble. I did go out a little bit. Nice Italian restaurant with my friend Espo from PHNX. I think the Suns have pieces that intrigue me, but is that the summer league fooling me? Like, am I not stacking it up against the competition? But you're like, they've got shooters, bigs.
There's potential. You look at it and you go, there's definitely potential here. But it's so far out to know.
You're not even like seeing like some of like the big names out there. Not even like the newcomers. Like if Dylan Brooks, who I'm really excited to see out there, and Jalen Green, just to see those guys. But like we haven't even like been able to see those new names that have experience that are going to actually make a huge impact. I think year one. Right.
And just who's the point guard? Is it Colin Gillespie? Is Bradley Beal going to get bought out? Which apparently there's a deadline. Okay, so we're taping this on, what is today? The 14th. So in the next 2 days, there's a deadline that Bradley Beal gets paid $13 million. This is a report. I have not seen the contract. But so that is what is holding this up. $13 million. Yes. Can you blame him? Because then you're stretching him, waving him, and he's not going to get the $13 million for 5 years.
Yeah.
So, I mean, maybe in one lump sum in one check.
13 now. Does that count against their cap then for this year too, in addition to whatever the salary is? Or is that part of
I think that's part of the wave and stretch over the 5 years, but that's going to be really interesting to see those numbers.
Or does it take that 13 million off what they owe him and then he doesn't? I don't know.
Can you do it as
NBA salaries are, you need a PhD.
Is that a signing bonus? Is there some sort of bonus structure? Yeah.
And then where does he land is the question.
So conventional. Probably so the talk over the weekend was the Clippers, but does that take Chris Paul's spot? And does that open up a spot back here for Chris Paul to sign? But
I'm for that.
I am too, because I think he's a culture changer. I heard a lot of talk over the weekend that's very one-sided. That Chris Paul wants to come back here. The Suns are kind of like
less interested.
Yeah, but we'll see. I mean, maybe that's to drive the price down, and that's business is business. So I tried to talk to everybody there, and then our editing system melted down like 9 times.
I mean,
but
what are there better options out there at this point?
I think for Paul.
No, for the Suns.
Yeah,
like a point guard that's a better.
I agree. Yeah, I mean, point book.
Gillespie's not bad to try him out for a full season.
Would you have Chris Paul mentor him? Come off the bench.
If Paul was here, yeah.
I mean
he did all right. He was coming off the bench with the Warriors. Was he with the Spurs too?
Right. Yeah, he was and played all 82 games.
Well, yeah, especially once they brought De'Aaron Fox.
So lessen the load.
If he's okay with it, that. I can't see why not.
Joe, how do you remember Chris Paul the Warrior?
Not a good stint. And we handled his big contract very bad. He had a big contract and we just let it walk away without filling but that's what happens when you're in luxury tax hell. Sometimes you just got to let go and not pay astronomical amounts. And it might be hurting us right now that we don't have another $20-30 million slot for someone, but not a good tenure in Golden State for Mr. Paul.
But you could argue that San Antonio was good. I mean, he didn't get into the playoffs, but Wemby had the blood clot. So I did think he was gonna do what he did in Oklahoma City. I think he's a big reason why of setting the culture there. And I mean, when he came here, we had to sit through a decade worth of just nonsense, a playoff drought, and he shows up and they go to the finals. And I honestly think I was having this argument with our friend Espo in Las Vegas this weekend as we were walking around the strip. We literally argued about this for 2 blocks. Have you all gone down the strip and you like weave in and out? Like I was like, you put Chris Paul in the Ring of Honor like right now. Next time he walks in the building, I don't care what uniform he's in. I mean, honestly, like, do it when on a non-game night. We should all go down there because of what he meant to the 2021 Suns going to the NBA.
And Espo's anti that.
He still looks at the Dallas series and factors that in too much, that he got old. To which I would say but the New Orleans series, he was out of his mind, and I think everybody had COVID, and Paul had a hurt hand. Well, no, Paul had a hurt hand in the finals run, but he was beat up. But he had the Suns as one of the talkers of the NBA.
Yeah, I don't know, and I think I kind of side more with Espo on that.
Well, I'm gonna get him in here.
You guys
can just agree on everything.
He brought the Suns to almost
right, which is it's so much better than where we were.
Yeah, it's better than not going to the playoffs
and further than he's
almost gets in the Ring of Honor.
Paul had never reached that far either.
That's true.
We had a parade in Phoenix when we almost beat Michael Jordan. It's the brand. Yeah. All right. So Espo and y'all can just I agree with your take. I agree with your take.
I get what you're saying. I don't fully disagree with it. I think I would side more towards
fair. But I guess
the Suns, they gotta celebrate what they can when they can.
And the way it fell off a cliff after he left, I think that says a lot.
And his basketball IQ, that is something that he can absolutely hand down to the Colin Gillespies or even the younger guys that are coming through. That's priceless, just getting information and learning from one of the best to ever do it.
I do think they probably had two wheels off the cliff before he even left. That Mavericks game, that game 7. I mean, it's turned into a meme, that moment. The Chris Paul cuts the lead to 34 or whatever. I mean, that's how his.
I still don't believe that. I was. I mean, I just watching that. You're just like, is something wrong? Are they not playing with 5 players? This is a joke.
When I remember the first quarter, it was can't get any worse than that. That's the worst the Suns have played in a quarter. And then the second quarter was nope, that is the worst they have played in a quarter.
My favorite thing about that game was earlier in the day, the Bucks played a game 7 against the Celtics and lost by 20-25. And it was that was a miserable game. They looked terrible. Everyone forgot all about it by midway through the second quarter of the Suns and Mavericks game. Look at what's happening.
So Does Giannis have a shot to win a championship still in Milwaukee?
Of course.
It's something every year. I mean, you ran into the Pacers. It's
there is something.
Are they elite? Are they still an elite NBA team, or are they,
not
middle of the road
this year? No, I don't think so.
So if you're him,
but you've got an elite player.
Do you want to be Peyton Manning, who won 1 Super Bowl?
I think he wants to be Dirk Nowitzki.
What, 1 NBA championship?
1 NBA championship,
and you're fine.
And a statue.
And stay the same plot.
Obviously, he's not going to say that's what he wants, but I mean, there's worse careers to have than that.
And he's good in Milwaukee. You've asked him. You've been to his house.
In my own head, yes, he's never leaving, and he doesn't even want to leave. And all those comments you hear it's just leverage for whatever.
Could Giannis and LeBron end up teaming up somewhere together?
And LeBron?
Yeah.
No, I think he would team up with Curry before LeBron.
Interesting.
He loves
Joe.
Curry.
Joe, how would you feel about that? Would that be in Golden State?
What's that?
Giannis and Curry teaming up. Are you talking about LeBron and Curry teaming up?
No, Giannis and Curry. Giannis would team up with Curry before LeBron.
I have a bad feeling that LeBron's going to be a warrior here
next year.
Yeah. It's just that we have an owner that really wants him, and he's partying and having fun with Draymond every offseason, and he loves playing with Steph, and they've got to play competitively in the Olympics. It's just it feels like it's happening, and I don't want it.
Has there ever been more of an automatic sellout, though, than LeBron and Curry on a team together everywhere they go? That's like Elton John's first or second farewell tour, which he's done, 5 of them at this point, but sells out everywhere
I
he goes.
quit keeping track.
Yeah, they do a farewell tour together on the same team.
We'd have every national TV game you can think of.
Would that be like Kobe and Shaq and Karl Malone and Gary Payton?
At this age, no.
Who else is teamed up?
I think they're better than those guys were at that point.
But they fell apart in the finals. I was still stunned the Detroit Pistons beat the Lakers. When was that? 04, 05?
Yeah, something like that.
That was the dream team. I mean, I'm stunned. I'm stunned the Heatles didn't win more championships. I'm stunned the Brooklyn Nets fell apart the way they did.
Kevin Durant's big toe.
On the line. Yes. But then James Harden left, which made no sense.
None of it made sense.
All right. Well, let's try to make some sense of what the Mercury have done. Beating Minnesota. It's the All-Star break. Julia, you've been hanging out with Satu Sabali. So
and Kalia Copper.
Yes. Okay. So tell us about your travels with two of the best players in the WNBA.
Well, it was awesome just to sit down with Satu talking about her. She adopted a puppy from the AZ Humane Society, which is so cute. Her name is Zoe the Brownie. She's a little brown Labrador, but definitely just talk with her. We're going to air that probably sometime this week on the Extra Point 3 TV. But yeah, definitely she seems like a really just good person, good head on her shoulders. She's just a fantastic just human being. You can tell, great at basketball. She's been through a lot in her life, and just it's so fun just to talk to her just as a human being rather than after a game, pregame it's just like cool just to get into her head. And then with Kalia Copper, she was hosting a girls basketball camp for Junior Mercury Empowerment Day, and she was there with all the girls like from 1st through 5th graders and just giving them life advice, basketball advice, and just showing girls that they can be confident at any age through the game of sport. And it was just really, really awesome to see her in that like aspect of her life.
I want to know what it's like to try to house a puppy on a professional athlete's travel schedule.
Yeah, she said that that's definitely the hardest part is the travel.
I have no doubt.
Yeah, but I feel like she has a team of, definitely a good team back here whenever she's on the road.
Because having a dog, like it's not just getting a pet, like it's a specific lifestyle that it's a life choice. Yes, it is.
Not being able to do you have a baby, basically.
It's similar.
I've always got my dogs house trained, so I don't know. I don't.
Well, I mean, that's just the first part of it, but then after that, like anytime you're away from the house, like as soon as you leave the door, there's like a timer that starts counting down. Like, all right, I have to be back by this point to let the dog out and take care of them. So like or you start taking them with you everywhere, and then you're looking for where are the dog friendly businesses that I'm gonna build my life around now.
And we know that Nick King and McFly are not together right now. Like I thought I don't know. Do we know that? We left the seat open.
I don't even know where Nick King is.
McFly is with me right now.
Oh, that's right.
So we do know that.
Yes,
he is safe and sound.
Okay. You should have brought him into the podcast.
He's not allowed here
McFly is not allowed in the building
That's
anymore.
Right. McFly decided to use the facilities.
He left a gift in the studio.
For the morning crew.
They certainly enjoyed it.
Just marking his territory. Arizona's family. Big Fly.
This is Nick King studio.
Getting back to our Mercury discussion, who will be the MVP of the Mercury at the end of the season?
It's got to be Thomas. I mean, Sabali has been great, but Alyssa Thomas has just as much as it feels like we go in circles talking about the D-backs, it's kind of the same thing with the Mercury, but in an opposite tone of like, this team is just so great, so fun to watch. Alyssa Thomas, the tank engine, is the engine of this team that makes them what they are, I think. And I think she has, I think, a good case for MVP of the league.
Right.
If Nafisa Collier didn't exist. But she's, I think, just been the main part of this turnaround.
Joe, who's the MVP of the Mercury when it's all said and done?
I think it is Thomas. She just, like Hippie just said, does everything and does it very well. I was kind of joking when we did in my head I joked that
to yourself
we did a reel of her scoring baskets. I'm like,
that's a very funny joke. We can tell myself.
We can do a basket reel, we can do a rebounding, we can do an assist, and just have multiple minutes of Alyssa just playing tremendous basketball.
Just her going into the paint, lowering her shoulder.
Yeah, and just
right. She probably should get called for a foul. I mean, I'll take it, but Minnesota's coach was not happy. And
as much as our Giannis discussion, I have an appreciation for players who can lower a shoulder and force their way into the paint. That's the kind of basketball I like to watch.
That's 3 yards in a cloud of dust downhill.
Yeah.
No, I mean it's
get her to the line.
I wish the Suns had that a little more. Maybe they'll bring a little attitude. Ryan Dunn wants to be like Dylan Brooks. So yeah. All right. So
is that a guy you want to model yourself after?
Dylan the villain. He's gonna bring it. I think this Suns team, they might not be good, but they're gonna be fun to watch.
The type of player he is, sure.
Yeah.
He's got a reputation that that follows him through the league. I don't know if that's something Dunn necessarily wants to.
I think Dunn's just trying to carve out a
does.
niche. We'll hear about it on the Extra Point this week, just about how he wants to model, that toughness. They're trying to create some culture, and you want a guy like that on your team.
I get that.
And Thomas has that too. Like somebody who's like, I asked Dylan Brooks on Friday at the Summer League, I was like, how would you describe your mentality on the court? And he said, no BS, but he said the whole word.
Nice.
And
I
yeah,
like
I mean,
that.
yeah. And it's like, yeah, I mean, you need someone like that. You need someone who's going to, you know,
He also can't wait to get his first technical foul at PHX Arena.
Yeah.
right.
I think he's the epitome of that player that you hate when he's on any other team, but you love when he's on your team.
Right.
I think that's where
Draymond Green without the winning. Draymond famously said the dynasty starts after you get traded.
Yeah.
to
He and Draymond have butted heads, haven't they?
Surprisingly, not as much as you
Really?
would think. He's a Curry pest.
And LeBron and Booker. Yeah, he likes to
And
stir it up.
Mitchell.
Oh yeah. That's probably the
You need a pest on that Suns team, though.
Right.
They didn't have one last
No,
year.
that's
No.
true.
Definitely needs some
Jay
attitude
Crowder was that
and
guy.
edge.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, let's talk to a guy who knows a lot about Phoenix sports, and one of our favorite interns we've ever had in this building, and he's gone on to do great things. He's in Amarillo, Texas, and he zooms in now to the pod that Zach Woodard for. Are you off today?
Peoria zone.
I am. Yes, I am.
Hold on.
Yeah, man.
Get you on mute. Hold on. We need to crank up your microphone here. Technical difficulties, but man, this is exciting. Hold on, Joe. How we doing here?
The anticipation is killing me.
Looks good on my
I haven't
end.
heard
All
from
right.
Zach in too long.
Zach, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you guys doing?
Man, we're just chopping it up here, talking. Try not to get depressed about the Diamondbacks. Trying to not to get too excited about the Suns and Mercury, and wondering how the AA affiliate for the Diamondbacks is doing in Amarillo, the Sod Poodles. What's it like covering the Sod Poodles?
It has been a whirlwind of a transition going from hanging out with you guys at spring training games and taking on my own role here in Amarillo. I couldn't have imagined what it would be like, but I always credit anytime anybody asks, how I'm doing out here, I always credit my time back there of, get my feet wet with the professionals and being able to come out here and make my own niche with the Sod Poodles. So it's been a great experience so far.
Well, you took the ball and ran with it. Now, that's what's so important about so many interns. If you have an internship, just be like Zach. You would just walk in and be like, what plays can I make today? And you look
with
up.
A smile on his
Right.
face, too.
Yes. Yeah. And that's when we was like, okay, this guy's going places. Let's try to keep him in the Gray Television family. So tell us about the Hispanic Titanic out there, Ivan Melendez from the University of Texas. You tell the whole story. You texted Joe the other night and said, hey, I got some video for you. Is this guy supplying video every night?
Yeah, I mean, there's always highlights. There's never a shortage of highlights with the Hispanic Titanic. And I mean, the reason I texted Joe, I remember sitting there right next to him doing some editing highlights for the Extra Point, and he's like, hey, there's a guy in Amarillo. They call him the Hispanic Titanic. And so I knew about Ivan Melendez before I even got out here, thanks to Joe. So I figured he'd want to know that he hit the franchise record home run. So just sent him a text, just like, hey, just so you know, the guy that you said was going to be good, he really is good. You weren't lying. He hits bombs. And there's never a shortage of fun with that team. And he's just one of the many faces that hopefully we will see there in Arizona with the Diamondbacks organization. But it's a lot of talent, a lot of guys coming through that, the Corbin Carrolls of the world that really made their mark here in Amarillo, and guys still talk about them to this day, and the Jordan Lawlers of the world that people really, really remember their time here in Amarillo. And, we don't take it for granted. We love getting these guys when we can, and we know eventually they're headed up there to Arizona to make some moves in the big leagues.
Tim Towell was a big one out there.
He was, yes.
Texted me a few months ago. Hey, he's making his debut. Can you send us video? They want to see it.
Yeah, every time one of these guys goes to the next level, the main thing we love to see is the success that they have. And I mean, they're in the right organization to do it. Once they get their chance, they take it and run with it. Tim Towell was a great example of a guy that probably wasn't supposed to be there as early as he was, but with the injuries, he made the most of it, and he's kind of made his mark there with the Diamondbacks.
Are you able to watch Arizona sports being 2 hours ahead and having this late sports report to do?
It's a little bit harder now, especially with daylight savings. I never had to deal with that until I got out here. Being born and raised in Arizona, that's one of the many things that was the blessings of it. We didn't have to worry about the time changes, but now, I have to worry about the next date. I have to set the clock back an hour or ahead an hour. I didn't even know what dates they changed on. I had to learn that on the fly.
People in Arizona like to say that, oh, I never had to deal with time change. Time change has never been more relevant in my life since moving to Arizona. I have to always be aware of where everyone else is in the country and where we are in relation to them, because we change instead of just one day a year.
I just wish we'd be on Mountain Time. I don't want to be on Pacific. Pacific's you're too far away from everything else. Mountain's like perfect. It's a sweet spot for me.
Oh, I love the Pacific time.
Interesting. I just don't. Well, it's mostly for work too, because all the games start so late and they all finish right before our show.
Yeah,
and I like that
game.
They
start earlier.
Yeah. I just yeah. Okay, back to our conversation with Zach about the time zones. So how has your first? So it's been about a year. When did you start, and how has it been covering sports in the great state of Texas?
It's been amazing. Yeah, it's been a full year, 13 months in, and I couldn't have asked for a better place to start, just because of the Amarillo specifically, of how much they love their sports. It kind of all stems from the Sod Poodles. They're kind of the only professional team that there is out here. So everybody sets aside their differences when it comes to their favorite high school or their favorite colleges, and everybody gets to root for the Sod Poodles. And I kind of thought, dealing with the major organizations, how hard it is to get these guys available for media days or being able to do interviews, that it would be a little bit of a struggle, but they have been nothing but helpful from the top down. And it's been a great transition to make. It was a little bit of a culture shock going from Phoenix to Amarillo, Texas. And it took a full year to get adjusted, but it's been phenomenal. They love high school sports out here. I know we all talked about that right before I took this job, about, what would the pros and cons be of starting in Amarillo, Texas. And I remember, conversation with Mark, you yourself, about being a Texas guy, of how much they love all sports at all levels. And you were not lying. Everybody is very, very passionate. Whether it's from the football field or to the volleyball court, it's the same level of passion. And I just try my best every single day to be able to tell the best stories, because of how passionate people are. And everybody wants to see their kid or their grandkids on the screen. So we try and get everybody on the screen time as much as we can. But it has been, I can't even put it into words, being able to make the transition to being on air after writing highlights and doing edits and going out to all the events with you guys. It has been a really, really great transition.
Zach, I gotta tell you, I saw that video you posted recently, I think, of your first year there. And I just had the biggest smile the whole time watching that, seeing how far you've come and how well you did. But I have to ask, how do you not like guacamole?
That was a great point, and I actually got a lot of flack for that.
I would imagine
we did
so.
that. Yes,
that was what
didn't
stuck with me more than anything from that video.
I didn't know that was going to be such a hot take. I thought that was a common understanding, but I guess I'm in the minority of non-avocado lovers. I didn't know that. You're not the only one to say that. I definitely got some responses after that video.
What is it? The flavor, the texture? What is it about it?
I think you just need to have the right
flavor.
Guacamole.
It might be the flavor. It might be the color too. I don't know. Green foods just always kind of give me a weird little vibe to it.
You mean like vegetables?
Yeah, I'm not a big broccoli guy either. I mean, we'll go ahead and put that on the table too.
His email is Zach. No, we're kidding. Have you gone to the Big Texan and tried to eat the giant steak yet?
I have not, and I've heard that it's more for the show. I heard there's a lot better steakhouses, but if you want to go and watch somebody try and eat it, which I need to do, that's definitely on my bucket list, to get out there and watch somebody do it. I will not be making the attempt. We should. Yeah, we should. Some people might lose their lunch. I don't know if we can show all of it, but it's a 72-ounce steak, and you have to eat the sides with it, which is the part that they never tell you. So I've heard there's a story of an 11-year-old girl who did it twice out here. Yeah. So I got to make sure, if she ever tries it again, I'll make sure I'm there for it to verify it for you, Matt.
I'm skeptical. I need to see video of that.
Hey, and one more question. What is a sod poodle?
It is a groundhog.
What?
It is a prairie dog, and they have there was a whole discussion of what the mascot would be when they built this team. And Sod Poodles, from what I understood, was the last on the list. And the people in Amarillo were not happy when that was the initial reaction of it. I guess I can't remember all of them off the top of my head, but one of my favorites was the boot scooters. That was going to be one of them, which I would have. I kind of like that, but they took Sod Poodles and ran with it. And now I don't think you can convince anybody in this area to change the name from Sod Poodles.
Well, a big thing in minor leagues nowadays is the alternate identities, so they can always pick boot scooters for a game or two. bring that up?
They have the Yellow City Pigweeds. That's one of the recent additions. And it is they just did the voting on the mascot name. The Sod Poodles mascot, his name is Ruckus, and the Pigweed his name is going to be Mayhem, which is a little play on the pig and ham, which I love, with Ruckus and Mayhem together.
What is pigweed?
It's a baby tumbleweed. It is very local to.
Look at his Texas knowledge.
Okay,
you are officially bought in, man. That is fantastic.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get some red hot Arizona sports takes before you get out of here, because I know, and maybe about your Washington Commanders, which I'm wondering how that goes over in the great state of Texas. But let's start with the Suns. Bullish on the season after the KD trade. Where do you kind of stand with where they're headed?
I am not upset. Obviously, I love Kevin Durant, and one of the many things that I get to flex on out here in Amarillo was being there, interning with you guys when the trade was made. And one of the things that I always remember is being out at all the Suns practices, and I started to build a connection with Mikal Bridges, and I thought we were going to be the best of friends. And the news broke that he was headed to Brooklyn, and I couldn't believe it. But also, I had the same reaction that Mikal said: is, well, when Kevin Durant's available, you make that trade. So now that he won it out, and he is, I'm not upset with it. As long as Devin Booker's a Phoenix Suns, and I know me and Matt have talked about this many and many times, as long as Devin Booker is a Phoenix Sun, you will always have my support and my loyalty. That is the through and through player that I look forward to. But I love the answer from Dylan Brooks. I watch every clip that I can that you guys post, and I love that he's ready to go in there and make some noise. And Matt, you're absolutely right that he's one of those guys that you hate to go against, but you love to have on your team. Kind of reminds me of a Patrick Beverley that always is just under your skin, and you hate to go against him. But when he's on your team, you're nothing but supportive of it. So I'm excited for the future.
Chris Paul, man, I'm still not over that. Unless he and Chris Paul are like friends, and then you're like, well, what? That ruined my whole theme there. What did I get angry about?
Yeah.
All right. What about you watching the Mercury at all? Are you able to check in on them because it's fun? Yeah.
Of course.
Okay. Could you see a scenario where they make a push to the championship, and who do you think will be their MVP?
I can. And I know that there's been a lot of conversations of what this new Mercury team looks like, but it's hard not to talk about the Mercury without Alyssa Thomas. She is quite literally one of the best players I've ever been able to watch. And now that Bonner's back in the city, like I said, every clip that I can watch that you guys post, it's always fun to look back. And I remember the whole, her run that she made when she first got to Phoenix, and there was the whole DT years and the Griner years, and she made a huge impact. And to have somebody like that back that understands the culture of what the Mercury want to achieve, I'm excited to see where it goes. There's a lot of conversation, especially being here in Texas. Everybody, of course, is a brand new Dallas Wings fan with Paige Beckers being down there. So the WNBA is as hot as it's ever been, and it's a lot of fun to watch.
It's not often a team can sign a player that's already the third highest scorer in franchise history.
Right. Yeah.
Zach,
yes.
Before we keep going, I do want to just say congratulations on your success over there. Like, seriously, it's just like huge. I haven't heard your voice in a long time. So just hearing your voice, I can't really see you.
I'm looking at him.
Yeah.
Hey, we're proud of you, Zach.
Yeah,
seriously,
so
this
proud.
is awesome.
Thank you. Yeah. And like I said, anytime I get to tell anybody about my journey of coming through, I never leave you guys out. It doesn't happen without being there with you guys. And you guys kind of laid everything out of what the industry would look like. I'm doing everything that I was doing at Izzy Family. The only difference is now I have to be nervous going on air to actually say the highlights instead of letting you guys read them. And you guys sounded 100 times better than I do. So it never sounds the way that I wanted to when I write it. Well, like when I was back there interning for you guys. So I couldn't have done it without you guys.
25 years in, same.
Yeah. I was just going to ask, have you had your moment yet, on TV where you're like, oh shoot, that just happened? Or like that live moment?
Yeah, there's been a couple. I remember one distinctly, and I have the videos saved, and I sent it to my family. I tried to say something and I forgot what I was going to say. And it was just a couple of seconds of awkward silence while I was trying to figure it out. I was like, well, I'll figure it out on the fly. It didn't work as well as I wanted to, but not too many botches.
Did those seconds feel like eons? When you were
Yes,
trying
it
to
felt
land
like
on those
an
words?
eternity. I remember messing up the end of the sentence and having the whole mental conversation of, well, how am I going to fix this? You need to say something because you're just being quiet right now. And I think I just ended it with a yeah. And that was that. And we tossed it on to the anchors. And that was all I could come up with in those seconds.
Every rep counts, man.
Yeah.
I mean, and you just I have no doubt that you're going to go far in this business, and then you're going to look back at this time in Amarillo and just be like, oh my gosh, it just the value of everyday storytelling, refining it. You know, I'm actually kind of jealous. I want to go back and be you. I want to go back to Medford, Oregon, and every night just be just trying to climb the mountain, man. It's super cool. Tell us real quick what you're covering this week, what video you can share with us, and where we can find you on social media.
Yes. So this upcoming week, we actually have a lot going on. We have our summer celebration, which is a phenomenal thing that I kind of got thrown into the fire when I first started out here. So we go to different cities across the Texas Panhandle. We actually have some in New Mexico, and that'll be the one that I'm covering. And we just do our whole broadcast live from the city. We have events out there, and we'll have some food trucks and some fun things to do for everybody. And it's just kind of our way to say thank you to all of the viewers, because I didn't realize how far our viewership stretched. It goes into New Mexico, it goes into parts of Oklahoma, and all throughout the Texas Panhandle. So we'll be doing that all next week. So I'm excited to do that. My day is Friday. I'll be live at 6. Hopefully I don't get too nervous. I always get nervous before live shots. My hands start to shake and I can feel my blood start to pump, and I just have to calm myself down and take it easy. But we are all over social media. My personal Twitter is Zach Woodard TV. On Facebook, it is Zach Woodard KFDA, and we post all throughout News Channel 10 Sports. You can find us on all platforms, and we love to get everything out, especially nowadays with dealing with high schoolers. We have to get everything on Instagram or they won't see it. So we have to get it up as quick as we can.
Well, and if you're not getting nervous, then I mean, I still get nervous, so that never goes away. You just
you can't tell.
Well,
you can't tell.
I'm nervous right now.
Zach, do you still have your side podcast? You still
I do. Yes, of course. Of course. Yes. That has been without that. Yeah. That just keeps us tuned into the sports world. I feel like if I wasn't doing that, I wouldn't pay as much attention to professional sports.
Those are fun to check out.
Well, if you make it to Eastern New Mexico University, that's where John Gustafson, our sports photographer, went.
Yes.
So ask around and see if there's any stories about him playing rugby there, if there's any statues of him.
Yeah. I've been down to ENMU. Yeah.
Oh, cool. We'll tell.
Yeah.
Well, we'll tell Gus you said hello, and it was great hearing your voice.
Gus would be the kind of guy to have a courtyard named after him and never tell us about it.
He might not even know about it. He might not.
That is more likely.
I'll check. Next time I go down to Portales, I'll do some digging around and I'll get back to you guys.
Please do.
Gustafson Hall. Wow.
Oh, who's this? No, it's named after you, Gus. Yes. I just rode back from Vegas with Gus, and it was such a fun conversation. So many great stories, but so many great stories today. We appreciate you joining us, and keep up the great work. And then come see us in studio when you're back home.
Absolutely. Yeah. As soon as I get back there, you guys are the first people I'm calling. So I'm ready for it.
Awesome. Go Centennial Coyotes.
Of course. Yes. I did see that the preseason rankings, they had Centennial at 3, and I think that's a little too low. They're the number 1 in my heart by all means.
Well, yeah, breaking in a new coach out there. So yeah, we gotta get you on the pod and talk Arizona sports, Arizona high school sports, man.
Of course. Beautiful. Anytime.
Beautiful. Awesome. Well, yeah, thanks, man. And I think this is going to wrap it up because we got to all get ready to go do our news hits here. Next week, maybe we'll talk Disneyland versus Disney World. So, put your ideas away on that one, and most embarrassing movies.
My wife is at Disneyland today, so I can get some professional.
Is she solo?
No, she's with her sister.
Okay.
It's her sister's birthday.
Would you ever go to Disneyland solo?
No.
Julia?
Easier. I don't know. Maybe because you can decide where you want to go.
I guess you could. Yeah. Zach, would you go to Disneyland solo?
Of course. Okay. Of course I would. Yes.
Joe?
I probably would, but I would not want to.
Right. I'd go sit in the Star Wars cantina.
I would not enjoy it nearly as much. Yeah, I would just eat. That's all I would do.
Oh, yes, that sounds fun. Well, this has been fun. And yeah, we're going to call it here on the group chat. But we'll see you next week. And hopefully we can be talking about some Diamondbacks wins. The Extra Point Podcast is a production of 3TV, CBS 5, and azfamily.com in Phoenix, Arizona.
Thanks.
This is The Extra Point, an Arizona's Family Originals podcast, sponsored by your Phoenix Suns.